What's up, guys? DrFeelGood here, back again with another video prescription. And today I would like to address both the narrow-minded gamer and third-party developer slash publisher who likes to use specs as a reason not to develop or port a game to a Nintendo platform. I find this very ironic, and I'm going to prove to you why I believe it is complete bullshit. And to prove this, I'm going to use a few popular third-party games as examples. But the information I'm going to reveal here is very factual, and you can look it up yourself, okay? I get tired of hearing third parties claim they cannot get a game to run or run efficiently on a Nintendo platform. Yet, when I look at the minimum PC requirements, they shouldn't be able to run on anything. Any console, I mean. Let me give you an example. Titanfall 2, right? Now, the bloated specs of Titanfall 2 state that the game requires 16 gigabytes of RAM. 16 gigabytes. Now, that's the bloated specs. And if I were to guess, that's probably to run the game in high, if not ultra settings. All right? 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now keep in mind, this is not video RAM for the graphics card or whatever. This is just RAM for the PC itself, okay? 16 gigabytes for the bloated specs. Guess what the minimum specs are? 8 gigabytes. Imagine that. The PC minimum specifications to run Titanfall 2 is 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now I know some of you guys are thinking, well, see, the PS4 and Xbox One both have 8 gigabytes of RAM. The Wii U only had 2 and the Switch only has 4. So there you have it. There's your evidence. Not exactly. Because if you've been paying attention, both last gen, which is the 8th gen I'm referring to, and for the 9th gen, guess what? When it came to the PS4 and Xbox One, out of the 8 gigabytes of RAM they have, only 5 are available for gaming. The other 3 are dedicated to running the OS. Based on that piece of factual information, neither the PS1 nor Xbox the PS4 or Xbox One should be able to effectively run Titanfall 2. If the minimum PC requirements is 8 gigabytes of RAM, and both these consoles only have 5 gigabytes of RAM available for gaming, how are these developers getting these games to run on the PS4 and the Xbox One? I know. They're being scaled down, right? That has to be the case. I'll give you another example. Batman Arkham Knight. We know the developer came out and said, oh, we couldn't get the Batmobile to run on the Wii U. It can't handle the Batmobile, which even I knew was complete bullshit. Alright? But let's have a look at the minimum PC requirements. Looking here, it says that it needs 6 gigabytes of RAM. That's the minimum, people. 6 gigabytes of RAM. And although that requirement is less than Titanfall 2, it is still more than what the PS4 and the Xbox One have available for gaming. They only have 5 gigabytes available, and the game says it needs 6 for the minimum requirements. Let's look at another game, shall we? The Witcher 3. Very good game, very popular game. Deserved pretty much all the praise it's gotten. Okay? The minimum specs required on the PC with regard to RAM is 6 gigabytes. And when it comes, just the same as Batman Arkham Knight, the consoles only have 5. Funny how that works. Here's another popular game, Battlefield 1. The minimum PC specs with regard to RAM for Battlefield 1 is 8 gigabytes. 8. Once again, the Xbox One and PS4 only have 5 available. Last but not least, Grand Theft Auto 5. For the PC, surprisingly, it only requires 4 gigabytes of RAM. 4 gigabytes. Now, in this case, if you go by specs on paper, it should be able to fit comfortably well and run well on both the PS4 and the Xbox One. But what about the Xbox 360 and PS3? None of those have 4 gigabytes of RAM. None of them. That's a bit questionable, don't you think? None of those have 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now I know some of you may say, well, it was designed for the ground up for those systems. Okay, but why not the Wii U? I'm just simply saying, if the game can fit on the PS3 and Xbox 360 and run quite well, why not the Wii U? Why? It doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. I'm not the biggest PC tech head, but let's move on. All these examples that I've given, let us keep one thing in mind, and I think a lot of these so-called gamers forget this. The ones that love to brag about specs, but don't know a damn thing about them or how they work. All video games are designed on PCs. Whether PCs, Macs, whatever, but all video games are developed on computers. They're developed using computers. Then they are scaled down and ported to consoles. Now, looking at most of these games I mentioned, with the exception to GTA 5, one could assume that after developing the game on using a PC, they then scaled it down and optimized it for consoles so it can run efficiently. One could assume that. But then a lot of these games are broken, like Arkham Knight and other games, not the ones I mentioned, but there are other games that are also on PC but are broken as hell. But there are some games that are on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and they run surprisingly well on the consoles, although the specs say they shouldn't be able to. Could it be that they optimized the game for these consoles? And if so, why can they not optimize it for Nintendo consoles? They did it for the Xbox One and PS4. I wonder. It's something to think about. It really is. See, this leads me to believe that these third parties are full of shit. This leads me to believe that these PC master race and these spec heads supposedly don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm just saying, looking at these facts, doesn't make sense. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. And as I always say, keep it gaming.